ensures a recovery of illegally acquired government property. Plus, Cross River State House of Assembly sues for lifting of ban on logging in the state, calls for sustainable forest management. Details shortly. Good evening. Thank you for joining me on NTA News Highlights. I am Arut Ndem. Now the news in details. The Cross River State government has assured that it will recover all illegally acquired government property, whether by individuals or organizations. In a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Emmanuel Okweche, assurance was given by the Chief of Staff to the Governor of Cross River State, Emmanuel Ayomba, when he embarked on the inspection of all government-owned properties within the Calabar metropolis. The Chief of Staff maintained that the inspection became necessary because of the urgent need to ensure that all government properties still occupied by private individuals and unauthorized organizations are immediately recovered. Ayomba, who frowned at the development, says normally at the expiration of one tenure, it is expected that public officials who serve in one administration should leave and allow those in the new administration to take over and use the facility allocated to them for the period of time. He, however, expressed optimism that the special committee set to review the transition report as well as that of recovery of government properties will work towards the realization of their objectives. And moving on, field investigations carried out by the Environment Cluster have revealed massive private development of permanent structures on the waterboard land contrary to the law. The issue of strange building developments which have occurred on the property of Cross River State Waterboard Limited came up for discussion and evaluation. The Cluster Transition Review Committee Chairman Tufan Fidelis Ugbo maintained that the land acquisition for waterboard was for overriding public purposes only and was this gazette. The cluster further observed that there is no evidence of any copy of Cross River State Gazette publishing any reassignments of any portion of the land of waterboard to any person whatever, unless the authentic evidence of any such reassignment is made available. Otherwise, the operating principle in land law relating to this situation, whatever stands on the land belongs to the land. It should be noted that there are a plethora of judicial authorities on this issue. The Cross River State House of Assembly is calling on the Forestry Commission to ensure sustainable forest management for generation system and to check undue deforestation of the rainforest. This was part of the resolution reached during deliberation on a matter of urgent public interest where the House sued for lifting of the ban on logging in the state. Uruaitim reports that the motion was raised by member representing Boki 1 constituency, Bete Obi Philip.
Members of the Cross River State House of Assembly who supported the motion raised by member representing Boki 1 constituency, Bete Obi Philip, on the lift of the embargo on logging in the state, noted that the activity of logging opens up the forest and encourages growth and development of new trees. They are of the view that if the ban is lifted, logging will create jobs and generate revenue for the state, as well as develop sectors of the economy that depend on forest products.
We should remove the embargo so that it will give way to sustainable management, so that the forestry will do their job. As I speak to you, if you go to the Forestry Commission, you may not have up to 5 staff, because from when the ban was put in place, all forestry activities were put on hold.
Their real business is to collect trade. That is the business of forestry. So with immediate effect and submit that, they should look at this task force and up the heart of the stream.
I believe it will create more jobs for the state. Because even though you do behind the planting, will be earning salary at the end of the day. This motion
and be lifted so that the state can get revenue. We will also have enough food in Cross River State for our furniture.
Although illegal logging is a driving force for environmental issues such as deforestation, soil erosion, biodiversity and other forms of degradation, but the House called on the Forest Commission to take adequate steps by ensuring sustainable management of the tropical rainforest.
We only go by way of I think plans and all that. It will take them a lengthy period of time to get that done. But those stranger loggers, what they do is when the storm is hewn down, the complete block of the wood is taken off in one day. If you go by soil, it takes you a longer period of time. But if you hewn down and take a complete storm, you can do that. You can devastate even a hectare of land in 2 days.
The Speaker also directed that the decision of the House be sent to the state government for necessary action. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
Still on the Cross River State matter, it has come to the notice of the Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly, Albert Anyambin, that on the 30th of June 2023, a certain hotel in Ikorinam in Calabar municipality hosted a gay party in their premises, where underage teenagers were also in attendance. The Speaker is reaching out to the security agencies in the state and relevant government MDAs to ensure that organizers of that obscenity and their collaborator are brought to book as a deterrence. In a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Matthew Okache, says the Speaker Anyambin remain hospitality operators in the state that on no account should any hotel or club should entertain anyone under 18 years of age at any time unless he or she is accompanied by their parents or guardians. Noting that the former President Goodluck Jonathan on the 7th of January 2014 signed the same-sex marriage prohibition bill into law. In the spirit of celebration, Elder Alice Achibongbasi has retired from active service in the Vineyard of God as a ruling elder at Presbyterian Church of Nigeria. Ben Achibong reports that the service, which took place at Presbyterian Church, Jitam Parish, was well attended by family members, friends, and associates.
The epoch-making ceremony, which drew guests, family, and members of the Presbyterian Church all over the country, was an atmosphere of jubilation and expression of gratefulness to God. The prelate and moderator of the General Assembly, while on the word, harped on the elders' commitment and motivational drive exemplified throughout Elder Ali's work in God's vineyard.
Now reservation, it is your turn to take care of them. Am I communicating? It is what? It is your turn. Life moves in circles. Just as you were a toddler in your infancy and they were there for you, making sure that they sacrificed everything they had in life in order to bring you up.
The retiree was decorated with Medal of Honor, and to crown it all, she marked her retirement with awarding scholarship to 3 persons at the Theological College for pastoral ministrations.
For all your labors as an elder in this church, and today the church section retires you honorably. We decorate you.
These people mount the pulpit. It is a man that is evangelizing the people.
At the reception ground, chairman of the occasion and others extolled sterling qualities of a role model whom they described as an accelerated force.
After some time, someone called me and said, please, go and talk to those children. I'm listening to them. Let them come back to church. And she brought back all of them to church. You are really a mother indeed.
I know how to be a woman of excellence, a woman of virtue, a woman, a lover of God, a teacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. She's just retired from active service, but she's not tired. We wish her many more years in good health and strength.
To my grandmother is, she shall live a long life. No one shall assassinate her. She's the best grandmother I've ever had.
Today is a very beautiful day, and it's a day that I will not forget very soon. Because Mommy served in the house of the Lord for 25 years as a ruling elder in the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, Duketown Parish, and she has retired very honorable, hale and healthy and alive.
The retiree speak.
I feel I am blessed. I'm a fulfilled woman for living to see today, retiring from active service of eldership. It was not an easy task, but the Lord took me over smoothly.
High point of the event was cutting of cake, appreciation from various sectors, as well as the nurses and brigade last salute to their memento. In Calabar, Nta Calabar.
On a sad note, the gruesome murder of Madam Martina Nta Calabar by youths of Old Netam in Akampa local government area of Cross River State, who was burnt to death after chopping off her fingers over accusation of witchcraft after a fatal auto crash which claimed the lives of two young men, is provoking intense rep expected to lead the prevalence of justice for the cold cruelty. Among organizations, agencies, and persons calling for justice for the errant crimes is immediate family members who interacted with NTA News. Maureen Luajong, who is just back from the community, tells us more. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Although the Cross River State Police Command has launched a manhunt for the killers of Madam Martina Nta Calabar, who was accused of witchcraft and burnt to death on Sunday morning, 18th of June 2023, at about 6:15 a.m. The Cross River State Governor, Senator Basi Otu, has also ordered the law enforcement agency to arrest and ensure that the perpetrators face full wrath of the law, describing the cruelty as not only repulsive but barbaric. Madam Martina Nta Calabar, a mother of 4, is said to have been accused of witchcraft following the death of 2 brothers in an auto crash. It was on the heels of the accusation that she was beaten and her fingers chopped off, after which she was set ablaze by some irate youths of the community of Old Netam in Akampa local government area of Cross River State, suspected to be cultists. Investigation reveals that Madam Nta Calabar was in her son's-in-law house, where she visited to receive medication over an injury incurred in her farm. And on that fateful day, shortly after her 2 daughters had left for 6 a.m. mass, the irate youth suspected to be cultists invaded the premises and carried out the act against humanity. Although the location of the incident is close to the church, it was gathered that efforts made by her son-in-law and others to arrest the situation was abortive, as the village chief and others concerned were said to have been insensitive, allowing the cruelty to be carried out. When NTA News crew visited the community, the major stakeholders of the community, including the village chief and other community leaders, could not be reached, while others like the priest in charge of the St. George's Parish Catholic Church, Reverend Father Matthew Ejijimbe, declined comment, stating that except he gets approval from the Archbishop of Calabar Diocese. However, the children of Madam Martina are hopeful that justice will be served.
Let them arrest them. If they arrest them, what they did to my mother, they should do the same thing to them.
We are appealing to the government and the Federation to assist us, since we don't have anybody in the high places to fight for us, neither do we have finances to fight for our mother. We can't fight, but with the help of the government, I think everything will be fine. They should help us and fight for her justice.
It will be recalled that a few years ago, after the death of a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Daniel Omonga, and others in a ghastly auto crash, these same youths killed 4 chiefs in the community and burnt houses and property worth millions of naira. The youths alleged that the 4 chiefs who were murdered were wizards. And reports has it that nothing had happened to any of these youths, and one could say this has emboldened them to continue with the barbarism. In Calabar, Maureen Leo, Ajom, NTA News.
That's it on our news highlight. Thank you for watching.